Welcome back to this month's edition of Focus on Health. I'm your host, Dr. Barbara Brookmeyer, and today we'll be talking about school health nursing for students with special needs at the Rock Creek School. And our special guest is Julie Thomason. She's a school health nurse from the Rock Creek School. Julie, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Well, there are students throughout Frederick County Public Schools with special needs. What makes Rock Creek School different?
Rock Creek is a special education school. We have 100 students enrolled there. They're from ages 3 to 21, and the average class size at Rock Creek is around 8 students. They have multiple complex medical needs, some of them do, and because of that we require 2 full-time nurses to work at Rock Creek, Amy Burrows and myself, to provide their direct care and also case management.
So what kind of nursing services do you provide there?
G-tube feedings. Many medications are administered every day. We replace a G-tube in the event it should become dislodged. We also monitor seizures. Several students have them each day. We need to make sure they're safe. In addition, Rock Creek School has 5 private duty nurses at the school for children who have very severe health needs, and we need to be familiar with their care. In the event that private duty nurse would become incapacitated, we can step in until their parent arrives to take care of them.
So I think you covered, my next question was going to be, so what do you do differently maybe from school health nurses in other schools?
I think our health room looks different in that we have a higher acuity of care. In the other health rooms in Frederick County, there's a health room tech that provides the services. But Amy and I deliver their direct care. We have, for example, 22 G-tube feedings a day. 42 of our students have seizure disorders, so we really need to stay on top of that. In addition, many of our students are nonverbal, and they also have high pain thresholds, so it can become very difficult to assess what is going on with them, what the issue might be, and how severe it is. But our staff at Rock Creek, they've been there a number of years. They're very devoted and dedicated, and they're really our eyes and ears out there in the classroom. They'll often present to the health room saying, oh, they're just not themselves. So then we kind of troubleshoot and see what's going on with that student.
So it sounds like there are some special challenges that you face in working with some of the students at Rock Creek School that maybe isn't quite as common, I guess, in some of the other schools.
Right, or yeah, in the kind of numbers that we see at Rock Creek. We also do nursing assessments. When a student is new to the school and they have complex medical needs, we compile information that will lead us to do their care plans. Those assessments are updated every year, and we share the care plans with the classroom and the cafeteria, transportation on a need-to-know basis. Those care plans spell out just what they'll need to, in the event of emergency, how we will operate and how care will be delivered.
So what are other opportunities for the students at Rock Creek School?
They're kept very busy during the day. Many are in a wheelchair, and they have braces and different things. It can be kind of difficult to deliver the care in a timely manner. Of course, an order is good at a certain time, but we try as much as possible not to interfere with their educational day as well. PT and OT, or physical and occupational therapy, are provided through the Frederick County Health Department, and we collaborate with them on issues that we share with the students. We can bounce ideas off each other and see if we're kind of on the same page.
So what else would you like to share about providing services to students at the Rock Creek School?
The parents at Rock Creek School often have stressors and challenges other parents may not have. For example, many of the students have frequent hospitalizations. It can be difficult to find respite care or daycare for the students, and some of our students even have a shorter lifespan, and that can really cause some difficulties, of course, for parents dealing, with the grief that comes with that. But when you help the parent and find services or even just listen to them, you're ultimately helping the child. The other thing I'd like to say is, it sounds like, wow, these kids are so complex there. What does that you know, what does that look like? It sounds sad. It isn't. Rock Creek is a wonderfully happy place. The students, when they come in, are smiling. When they reach a goal or achieve a skill, and it takes them often a long time to do so, I think the whole place just celebrates. So it's very close in that way. Though we do provide a lot of things for the students, what they provide us is just a gratitude and just to see their simplicity and happiness under maybe some adverse conditions. That's really heartwarming. They give an awful lot to us and teach us so much. Even though we're a school, I think they often teach us a lot. And I consider it a real privilege and a blessing to work at Rock Creek.
Boy, that is great. I think that's probably a good place for us to end, but I do want to thank you for sharing with us some of the high level of care that is provided by the school health nurses at the Rock Creek School, as well as the complexity. And so even though there are those challenges, it sounds very rewarding.
It truly is.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. And now please stay tuned for this month's Medical Myth.
Homegrown here is the tagline for fresh fruits, vegetables, and farm-raised products grown locally in Frederick County, Maryland. There are many places available to buy fresh, local products. Several locations offer their products at their farm market, while others use the 14 farmers markets around the county. To find out when and where these markets are available, visit www.discoverfrederickmd.com or call the Frederick County Business Development and Retention Office at 301-600-1058 and ask about our agriculture industry. Remember, fresh, high-quality farm-raised products are homegrown here in Frederick County.
The Frederick County Permits and Inspections Office is pleased to announce our new pilot program for homeowners that allows you to apply for permits after normal business hours. The extended hours are from 4 to 6 p.m. on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. For more information, please visit our website or call us at 301-600-1082. We look forward to serving you.
The Long-Term Care Ombudsman program at the Frederick County Department of Aging is a free and confidential advocacy service for people living in assisted livings or nursing homes, also referred to as long-term care facilities. If you are in need of assistance with obtaining resources to select a nursing home, help identify problematic issues and resolving concerns within a long-term care facility, need assistance on supportive programs pertaining to residents in long-term care, please call your Frederick County Long-Term Care Ombudsman at 301-600-2877.
And now here's this month's Medical Myths. Welcome back to this month's Medical Myths. Today we'll be talking about high blood pressure or hypertension. The first myth is that hypertension or high blood pressure is normal. The fact is that while more than 50 million Americans have high blood pressure is not a normal condition. And high blood pressure is defined as a blood pressure greater than or equal to 140 millimeters of mercury systolic pressure, that's the top number, or greater than or equal to 90 for the bottom number or the diastolic pressure. This is usually read as 140 over 90, including both the top and bottom numbers in the measurement. While we're talking numbers, the second myth is that systolic blood pressure, or that top number, does not matter if the diastolic, or the bottom number, is below 90. For many years, hypertension was classified on the basis of that lower number, the bottom number, and that the top number was not considered much. But the fact is now the systolic blood pressure, or the top number, is actually a better predictor of cardiovascular risk for stroke, heart attack, congestive heart failure than is the diastolic, or the lower or bottom number. The next myth is, I don't need to take my blood pressure medicine, I feel just fine. Well, the fact is that while most people in the United States have stage 1 or 2, which is mild or moderate high blood pressure, and they might experience few or no symptoms during the early years of their hypertension, organ damage and other serious conditions develop over time. High blood pressure does progressive damage to the blood vessels, and the first symptom of untreated or inadequately treated hypertension might be a disabling stroke or possibly a fatal heart attack. High blood pressure has been referred to as the silent killer for that reason. Another myth is that hypertension cannot be controlled. Well, the fact is that high blood pressure is easily detected and usually controllable. Making certain lifestyle modifications and taking medication as prescribed are the keys to controlling hypertension. Behavioral changes include losing excess weight, quitting smoking, getting regular exercise, and eating a low-fat and low-salt diet. However, even with such behavioral changes, high blood pressure can still persist. Taking medicine regularly, in addition to moderate lifestyle alterations, is usually necessary to achieve the desired goal of your blood pressure being below 140 on the top number and below 90 on the bottom number. Another myth is that high blood pressure isn't really dangerous. Well, the fact is, high blood pressure increases the risk of heart disease and stroke, involving almost 20% of adults and over 60% of all senior citizens. It can also lead to other conditions such as congestive heart failure, kidney damage, dementia, and blindness. Remember, however, that hypertension does progressive damage to blood vessels, and the first symptom of untreated or inadequately treated hypertension might be a disabling stroke or possibly a fatal heart attack. It is important to meet the target goal of your blood pressure being below 140 on the top number and below 90 on the bottom to help avoid long-term complications of high blood pressure and reduce the risks of heart attack and stroke. For people with certain conditions like diabetes, target blood pressure goals are even lower. So that's this month's medical myths about hypertension. And now here's Angie Blair with this month's health tip.
Hello, this is Angie Blair, health educator with the Frederick County Health Department. Welcome to this month's edition of Health Tips. This month we are talking about the importance of breastfeeding, as the first week of August is World Breastfeeding Week. Why is breastfeeding important? First and foremost, we know that breastfeeding protects babies. Early breast milk is like liquid gold. Colostrum, known as liquid gold, is the thick yellow first breast milk that mothers make during pregnancy and just after birth. This milk is very rich in nutrients and antibodies to protect your baby. Although your baby only gets a small amount of colostrum at each feeding, it matches the amount his or her tiny stomach can hold. Mother's breast milk changes as your baby grows. Colostrum changes into what is called mature milk. By the 3rd to 5th day after birth, this mature breast milk has just the right amount of fat, sugar, water, and protein to help your baby continue to grow. It is a thinner type of milk, but it provides all of the nutrients and antibodies your baby needs. Breast milk is easier to digest. For most babies, especially premature babies, breast milk is easier to digest than formula. The proteins in formula are made from cow's milk, and it takes time for babies' stomachs to adjust to digesting them. Breast milk fights disease. The cells, hormones, and antibodies in breast milk protect babies from illness. This protection is unique. Formula cannot match the chemical makeup of human breast milk. In fact, among formula-fed babies, ear infections and diarrhea are more common. Formula-fed babies also have higher risks of lower respiratory infections, asthma, obesity, and type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Breastfeeding has also been shown to lower the risk of sudden infant death syndrome. Lastly, breastfeeding also benefits society. Recent research shows that if 90% of families breastfed exclusively for 6 months, nearly 1,000 deaths among infants could be prevented. The United States would also save $13 billion per year because medical care costs are lower for fully breastfed infants than never breastfed infants. Breastfed infants typically need fewer sick care visits, prescriptions, and hospitalizations. Breastfeeding also contributes to a more productive workforce since mothers miss less work to care for sick infants. Employer medical costs are also lower. Breastfeeding is also better for the environment. There is less trash and plastic waste compared to that produced by formula cans and bottle supplies. Be sure to visit www.womenshealth.gov/breastfeeding for more information about all the wonderful benefits of breastfeeding. Thank you for tuning in to this month's Health Tip.
And thank you for joining us for this month's edition of Focus on Health. Please join us next month.